I'm Merideth with XT, and today we are talking with Michael about his 2015 Jeep Wrangler JK Sport. Your wheels are the 17 by 8.5 inch Fuel Recoil matte black wheels with a negative 6mm offset, 35 by 12.5 inch R17 Nitto Ridge Grappler all-terrain tires, and then the Terflex 2.5 inch suspension lift kit with 9550 VSS shocks. Can you tell me why you chose this setup?
When I first bought the Jeep, I knew that I was going to put a lift on it. I knew that I was going to change the wheels and tires on it. It took me truly about a month and a half going through websites, talking to friends, getting on social media, searching for that combination that looks good to me. The recoils are the ones for me. That's what I want. I wanted something matte, didn't want anything chrome. Definitely went with the matte black, and it's fit well with my ride. So knowing the size tires that I wanted, I didn't want to go anything larger than 35s. I still wanted a semi-comfortable ride on the highway because this Jeep is mainly for my wife and I to be able to enjoy going out to parks, going into some Jeep trails, but also being able to drive it around town as well. And it really is a comfortable ride. My fun is top down, enjoying myself, either going to the beach, or if I do go into a park, into a trail or whatever, I know that I can do that.
So let's get into some detail about your setup. So let's start with the wheels. Again, for everybody watching at home, we are working with the 17 by 8.5 inch Fuel Recoil matte black wheels with a negative 6mm offset. Can you tell me a little bit about why you chose these wheels in particular?
I had a general idea. I wanted something looking like some sort of a 5-star. I really do like that style of rim. So when I first found the Fuel Recoils, that one really sort of stuck out, and that one sort of went to the front of the line. And when it finally came down to it, I presented it to my family and said, hey, this is what I'm looking at doing. You guys give me your opinion and let me know. So it was part of a family decision as well, and we went through, and I finally ended up going with the recoils, and very pleased with them.
And then why did you go with a 17-inch wheel? When talking about size, some people like a smaller wheel or a larger wheel. Why did you go with a 17?
When I first got my Jeep, it came with stock tires. Well, I was always the nerdy one that was going up and looking at everybody's rims and tires. It was like, man, oh, I really like that. Oh, that rim's, a little bit too big for me. I really don't like that. Oh, I like that size tires. I was taking all of these notes as I was going through. So I have to thank fellow Jeepers for that. And, finally came to the realization that I was going to go with the 17-inch rim. Knowing that I was going with 35s, I did want a pretty good beefy tire on there. And also the width of it, I wanted a little bit of tire sticking outside the rim just a little bit as well. Then I ended up doing a little bit of an offset just to be able to still push that tire out just a little bit further off of the sides and everything. I wanted the tires to look like they fit the wheel well and that they were sticking out just a little bit, and people were going, man, that's a nice beefy looking tire. So it worked out well.
So you have the 35 by 12.5 inch R17 Nitto Ridge Grappler all-terrain tires. Why did you go with this tire?
I actually have those tires on my truck. I've had those for several years now. Good road tire, not a lot of road noise, comfortable drive, and it's a good lasting long tire. Knowing that this Jeep's also going to travel down the highway as well, I still also wanted a fairly quiet riding tire as well. So I do pull my doors off all the time, and when I'm running down the road, I hear wind, I don't hear tire noise.
Why did you choose an all-terrain tire over a mud terrain?
It is the drivability. I would say that the majority of driving with that Jeep is probably on the roadway, more minimal as far as, going onto the beach or getting out in the mud, getting out in the rocks or anything like that. Now, obviously down in Texas, there's plenty of farm to market roads with nothing but gravel and all of that stuff. So if there's a puddle, yeah, I'm gonna find it.
Did you have to do any calibration for the tires once you upgraded as far as the size or the weight, like a tuner, a calibration tool?
Yes, I did. That was definitely part of it. I did purchase a tuner and actually went in and recalibrated based on the width of the tire and everything, obviously get the speedometer and everything recalibrated. And right now I'm probably within 1 to 2 miles an hour of actual readouts and everything.
Now, before you tuned it or recalibrated it, Did it feel a little bit more sluggish with the 35s on there? Did you notice a difference?
In sixth gear, if I've got more than, say, 2 passengers, 3 passengers, something like that, riding down the highway in sixth gear is difficult. So it's very possible that in the very near future, I may or may not be re-gearing.
Let's hop into the suspension. So again, you have the Terflex 2.5-inch suspension lift kit with the 9550 VSS shocks. You kind of talked a little bit about how you chose this because you didn't want to go over the top with a 3, 4, 4.5-inch lift kit. You kind of wanted to remain right in the middle. Can you tell me a little bit more about why you chose this kit?
Decision for me, obviously, again, was with my wife. How high was it that she could get in, and yet I would still have enough clearance with the size tires that I definitely wanted. A lot of friends had suggested the Terflex brand, which I did jump into. Very easy install. I did all the wrenching and everything on my own Jeep and all of that as well. The shocks, the coils, everything that I did, very pleased with them. Have several individuals that has lifts on their trucks and everything, and they got in my Jeep, drove my Jeep, and it was like, wait, this thing has a lift? Man, this is a really nice, soft ride. It's not rough or anything like that. And I was like, that was exactly what I was going for, and that's what I wanted.
And how do you like the way that the 2.5-inch lift kit looks with the 35s?
Honest and truly, it looks great. The lift gives the Jeep that one little extra look that it sets it off.
Have you gotten an opportunity to take it on any off-road terrain with the lift, and how does it ride if so?
I've taken it off a little bit, contact on the road the whole time, no problem, and I've had 0 issues with it. When I did do the 35, at that time I had actually had the stock bumpers on. I knew on some of the plastic cowls that are up in the front and part of that I was going to end up with some rub. I ended up having to cut maybe 1.5 inches of plastic off just to be able to get that full turning radius and everything on the tires and everything, so off of the stock bumpers. So once I trimmed that off, we were fine.
So one question, looking back and looking at all of your decisions, would you do anything different?
No, I wouldn't change a thing. I'm ecstatic about them and no issues there.
Thank you so much for sharing everything about your build and your experience with not only, again, you, but your family as well. But to give a recap, you have the 2015 Jeep Wrangler JK Sport, 17 by 8.5-inch Fuel Recoil matte black wheels with a -6mm offset, 35 by 12.5-inch R17 Nitto Ridge Grappler all-terrain tires, and then you have the Terflex 2.5-inch suspension lift kit with 9550 VSS shocks. Well, thank you so much again, and for all things Jeep, make sure to keep it right here at ExtremeTerrain.com.